everyone, thanks for joining me today. In today's class we're going to be focusing on our feet. So I know feet are one of those things that people have a bit of a love-hate relationship with. Sorry if you haven't hated your toenails today. But hopefully even if you hate your feet, today's going to be a day to give them a little bit of well-deserved love. We're going to start at the top of our mat standing, so that we start with our feet grounded to the floor. So bring your feet, they're about hip distance apart, and see if you can spread your toes a little wider than normal. Don't worry if they don't spread very far. Close down your eyes, draw your fingertips down towards the floor and start to press down through both feet. As you press down, start to rock forwards and backwards, maybe from side to side a little bit. Don't worry if you wobble, don't worry if you need to take a step, don't worry if you need to open your eyes to help you keep your balance. But if your eyes are open, soften your gaze. And take a few deeper, longer breaths. And as you move, think about how your feet feel. Notice how you use your feet to balance. Your toes, the arches of your feet, your heels, the sides of your feet. Notice how they intuitively adapt to where your body weight is shifting. Maybe you find it easier to grip as you rock forwards where you've got your toes than if you rock backwards. Maybe it's easier to rock from one side than the other. Nothing's right, nothing's wrong, just bring that awareness to your own feet. We don't often focus on our feet, so take a moment to do it now. Continuing to move, continuing to rock. Turn your palms to face the front of your mat and take an inhale as you roll your shoulders up to your ears. Exhale, rolling your shoulders down your back. Inhale, shoulders roll up. Exhale, shoulders roll down, keeping that balance on your feet. Inhale one more time, shoulders roll to your ears. Exhale, rolling your shoulders down your back, shoulder blades gently squeeze together, fingertips draw down either side of your legs. Now bring yourself slowly back to a steady position, balancing equally on both feet. And then lift all 10 toes up off the floor. When we lift our toes, our feet should start to activate. So there are hundreds of muscles, tendons, ligaments in our feet. There are 26 bones and over 30 joints. So as you lift your toes up and you feel all of those parts of your feet start to activate, see if you can keep that activation as you press your little toes back to the floor. Your second toes come down, this is harder than it should be. Your third toes come to the floor. Your fourth toe comes down, and then press your big toe down into the mat, but keep that activation through the arches of your feet, through the whole span of your foot on the floor. Take a breath in as you lift through both kneecaps, activate through your thighs, gently tucking your tailbone under, your navel pulling back towards your spine. Fingertips continue to draw down, shoulder blades squeezing back. Blinking your eyes open, take a breath, standing here strong in your mountain. Then let your knees soften, your feet relax. Inhale, lower down to lift up, arms up overhead, gaze to your fingertips. Exhale, knees can bend as you softly fold forwards over your legs. Notice how your weight moves in your feet as you come down. Inhale, fingertips to shins, flat back, your halfway lift. Exhale, hinging forwards again over your legs. Maybe you shift your weight into your toes just a little more. Knees bend, bending down to come up. Inhale, sweep your arms up overhead, gaze to your fingers. Exhale, palms come together down in front of your chest. Squeezing your palms together, a little bit of activity between your hands, similar to your feet. Knees bend, inhale, arms sweep up, lifting up tall. Exhale, folding forwards, legs can be soft as your fingertips come down towards the ground. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, hinging forwards once again. Bend your knees, inhale, arms come up overhead, stand up tall. This time, can you come up onto your tiptoes as you peel your heels from the ground? Again, don't worry if you wobble, don't worry if it's messy. Just come up as high as you can, and again, start to feel how your feet react. Do your heels go out to the side? Is it easier on one foot than the other? Can you hold here a little longer? Can you play with your gaze, maybe drifting your gaze up to your fingers? It gets really hard then. And then looking back down again, chin coming towards your chest. Inhale, reach up a little bit taller, come a little higher like you're a belly dancer on your points. Exhale, drop your heels down, palms come together in front of your chest. Bend your knees, sink your sitting bones. Inhale, arms sweep up and forwards, chest lifts, your chair pose, Utkatasana. Exhale, knees stay bent as you fold forwards and gently lift your hips up into the air. Inhale, flat back, halfway lift. Exhale, drop both hands to the floor and step your right foot back behind you, your lunge with your legs. That right knee comes down to the ground. Untuck your right toes and press the top of your foot down into the floor. So you're activating through the top of your foot this time. Fingertips stay on the ground, feel your chest lift. Inhale. Exhale, draw belly button towards your spine, active through your core. Press down through that left foot. Inhale, arms sweep up and overhead, your low lunge. Maybe drifting your gaze up to your fingers. Then take a breath here, hold still, strong through your whole body. And see if you can start to peel that left heel off the floor, tiptoes on your front foot. Gaze where it's comfortable if you can, up to your fingers, but don't worry if you just want to look ahead, it might make it easier to balance. Keep the top of that right foot pressing into the floor behind you. Inhale. Exhale, left heel to the mat as you lower your hands down either side of that foot. Tuck your right toes, lift that back knee, shifting forwards and backwards, and then stepping your right foot to meet your left. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, hinge forwards. Inhale, bend your knees down to come up, sweep your arms up overhead, stand tall. Exhale, palms together in front of your chest. Bend your knees, sink your sitting bones, chair pose. Inhale. Exhale, hinge forwards, chest to thighs, then lift your hips, forward fold. Inhale, your flat back. Exhale, fingertips to the ground as you step your left foot as far back as you can. Take a moment here, steady through your legs, then drop that left knee to the floor, untuck your left toes, and press the top of that back foot down into the floor nice and strong. It should help to take a little bit of the weight out of your knee. Fingertips stay grounded. Inhale, feel your chest start to lift, that stretch through your legs. Exhale, belly button draws back towards your spine, active through your core. Inhale, ground down through both feet as you sweep your arms up. Maybe your gaze can lift to your fingers. Exhale, hold here in your lunge, nice and strong through your legs. Same as before, inhale, see if you can peel that right heel from the ground, tiptoes on your front foot. Exhale, hips sink forwards as you hold here. Inhale, reach up a little bit higher. Exhale, sweep your hands down, lower that right heel, left toes tuck, high lunge legs as you lift that back knee. Press the ground away, this time step your right foot back to meet your left, your plank pose, and shift forwards and backwards and use your feet. So press back through your heels. Then come up onto your tiptoes as high as you can as you come forwards. Keep your core active, your arms strong. Again, feeling a little bit of the power through your feet. Inhale, exhale, Shifting back and drop your knees to the floor. Untuck your toes as you sit to your heels, your child's pose for the breath. Big inhale through your nose. Sigh out, exhale. Inhale, shift your fingertips back towards you. Lift your hips enough to tuck your toes once again. Start to sit back towards your heels, but keep your heels together. So quite often when we come into toe stands like this, our heels fall apart. Try and keep yours together and bring your palms together in front of your chest. Eyes closed down as you drop your chin forwards ever so slightly, taking a few deep breaths here as you stretch out through the back of our toes. I don't know anyone that finds this comfortable, but it's so good for your feet. We don't often stretch our feet in this way, so try and breathe through it. We'll lift out in a second, just a couple more breaths. Maybe feeling those deep muscles start to relax around your toes. Maybe not feeling them relax at all. One more inhale. Sigh out, exhale. Lift your feet. Untuck your toes. Tap the tops of your feet as fast as you can into the floor behind you. All that blood returning to your toes. Then drop your hands down, come into hands and knees, shuffling the base of your hands and your knees as much as you need. Inhale, belly lowers down, chest lifts. Exhale, press the floor away, rounding through your back, your cat pose. Inhale, cow, belly lowers down, chest lifts. Exhale, rounding through your back. As we continue moving between these two poses, press the tops of your feet down into the ground. So you have a steady base, pressing down as much through your feet as you do through your hands. Keep breathing through the transitions. Toes are pointed. All of those hundreds of tendons, ligaments, muscles working, even in the poses that we don't often think about the fact that we're using our feet. Inhale, belly lowers down, chest lifts. Exhale, tuck your toes, send your hips back, lifting your hips into the air. Your downward facing dog, give your legs a pedal. Again, sinking one heel down at a time as you focus a little bit more on your feet, your arches, your toes, the balls of your feet, your heels, even into your ankles. Pay them a little bit of extra attention. And as you look towards your feet, slowly start to step them forwards. Just little steps at a time. Seeing if you can keep your feet close together the whole time as you bring them towards the top of the mat. You can peel your hands off the floor as you come up. Knees can be bent. Belly towards your thighs. Take hold of your elbows and rock from side to side. Your upper body easing over your legs. Fingertips towards the ground. Bring your fingertips towards your toes and separate your toes enough so you can bring a finger in between each one. Again, I'm sorry if you're one of those people that don't like feet. Just use your fingers to help spread your toes here. Then drop all 10 toes back to the floor. Release your fingers, knees bend. Inhale to lift up. Stand tall, arms overhead. Exhale, palms come together in front of your chest. Bend your knees, inhale, chair pose, sink your seat, arms reach forwards. Exhale, can you come up onto your tiptoes, heels lift into the air, your awkward chair. How long can you stay? Deep breath in, inhale. Exhale, hands come together as you slowly squat down, straight through both feet. Seat towards your heels. Press through your toes. Inhale, start to lift arms, separate, chair pose, awkward chair. Exhale, heels to the floor, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hinge forward, step your right foot back behind you, high lunge legs. Left knee over left ankle. Inhale, sweep your arms up, your high lunge. Exhale, can you lift the heel of that front foot, coming onto your tiptoe. Inhale, lift your gaze for a moment to your fingertips. Exhale, drop that heel down, don't worry if you wobble like me, both hands to the floor. Look down at your foot, press the floor away with your hands, strength through your upper body and step that left foot back, plank pose. On an exhale, hips go up high, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg sweeps up, three-legged dog. Exhale, step your right foot to the outside of your right hand. Lower that left knee down for a moment, untuck your toes. Then lift that right hand to your right knee. Peel the inside edge of that right foot off the floor so the outside edge is touching the mat. And use your hand to help guide that right knee out to the side. Your hips are sinking forwards. Flex that right foot so your toes point to your knee. Your heel presses down into the ground. And opening through your hips. A balance on that outside edge of your foot. Inhale, come back through the center, press your whole foot to the floor, right hand to the inside edge of your foot, left toes tuck, lift that left knee, press the floor away as you step your right foot back, plank pose. Knees to the ground, elbows bend as your chest and chin come down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, forehead to the mat, tuck your toes, strength as you come back through plank, and downward facing dog. Again, slow steps, no jumping, no leaping, just one foot at a time. Each step we take in the day builds strength. Each movement builds flexibility. But if we pay a little bit of extra attention, we can harness that strength, harness that flexibility to make our feet even more healthy. Knees bend, inhale, sweep your arms up, stand up tall, mountain. Exhale, palms come together for a breath. Chest, or thumbs to chest. Inhale, let your chest puff forwards. Stand tall. Exhale, sigh it out. Knees bend, drop your seat, inhale, chair pose. Exhale, awkward chair as you lift your heels. Palms come together, slowly lower yourself down to a hover, your toes stand. See if you can get your thighs parallel to the floor. Press down through your toes, strengthen your feet, inhale, lift up, chair pose. Exhale, legs straighten as you hinge forwards. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fingertips towards the floor, step your left foot as far back as you can. Deep breath in, inhale, rise up, high lunge. Exhale, can you peel that right heel up into the air, strength through both feet, don't forget about your back foot. Inhale, gaze up to your fingers. Exhale, right heel to the floor as you fold both hands back down to the ground. Press the floor away through your hands, step that right foot back, plank pose. Then send your hips up high, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg sweeps into the air. Exhale, left foot to the outside of your left hand. Your lizard, drop that right knee down to the ground, untuck those right toes, left hand to left knee. Then peel the inside edge of that foot off the floor. Your hip starts to open as they sink forwards towards the mat. Use that left hand to stabilize. Use that right hand for strength. Slow breaths. Feeling that opening in your leg as you flex flex those left toes, using your feet to help protect your knees. And then slowly guide that left foot the whole way back to the floor, left hand to the inside edge of your toes. Right toes tuck, right knee lifts. Power through your hands as you slide that left foot back. Your choice, knees on the floor or chaturanga as you lower to the ground. Inhale, your back bend. Exhale, forehead to the mat. Tuck your toes, reverse plank and hips go high. Downward facing dog. Looking to your fingertips, drop your knees to the floor, untuck your toes, big toes touch. Sit back to your heels, palms together. Take a breath. A few nice, long, deep breaths as you settle to the ground. We're not going to stand up again. We're going to bring our focus down a bit closer to the floor. So as your breath starts to slow, your heart rate slowing down if it's sped up a little bit like mine. And bring your hands down either side of you and slowly walk your fingers back. Keep your shins pressing into the floor. For a moment, strength through your legs, strength through your fingertips to help lift your chest. So we're not dropping into our backs, we're keeping our upper body nice and strong. Then just gently peel your shins off the ground. For some of us that might just be a tiny little bit. Some people's knees might come the whole way up into the air. Wherever it is for you, just stop when you feel a good stretch through the front of your ankles. Similar to our toe stand, we don't often stretch our feet in this way, but it's so beneficial. So try and breathe through it. Feel those muscles starting to loosen, starting to lengthen. We've built strength, but we also need the flexibility. That's what yoga is about, for me anyway. It's about that balance between strength and flexibility. Guiding your shins, your knees back towards the floor. Hands come to the ground. Maybe tuck your toes and tap your feet this time, or again, tops of your feet as you get all that blood circulation back. Then take your heels to the side, sit down to your mat, and bring both feet forwards in front of you. I'm going to face you. You want the soles of your feet to come together, your knees to rock out to the side. Bring your hands towards your feet and just start to massage the arches of your feet. I know some people this can make them a little bit emotional. Sometimes our feet haven't had much attention in a while. So give yourself a well-rewarded massage. You can put socks on if you want. Pressing all those tight muscles. If you've ever heard of reflexology, not that I'm a pro in any way, but they say you can tell a lot about a person from the muscles and stuff in their feet. So who knows if they're right or wrong, but it tends to help relieve stress a little bit if you do loosen muscles anywhere in your body, including your feet. And maybe you don't notice when these parts of your body are tight. So giving your hands a rest now. Start to squeeze your knees together, butterflying. Squeeze your knees together, squeeze your heels together, butterflying your knees out. So you flutter them up and down a little bit, loosening out through your hips. Hands can stay towards your feet, or you can rest them to the mat. But take an inhale as you sit tall, legs come to a rest now. Exhale, folding over your feet as though your chest is coming towards that gap. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold forwards. Inhale, lift, nice straight long spine. Exhale to fold. Inhale again to lift. Exhale, fold Inhale, lift yourself up. Last time, exhale, elbows stay tucked in as you fold. A few deep breaths here, feeling the soles of your feet press together. Maybe bringing your fingers in between your toes. Maybe continuing to massage your feet a little bit. And then take a breath in as you peel yourself back up to seated. Hands to the outside of your knees. Press your knees back together in the center. Soles of your feet on the floor as you slowly start to lie back down. But try and keep your big toes on the ground. See if you can actually keep that downward pressure through your feet the whole time. Pressing both feet into the ground as you lower vertebrae by vertebrae down to the floor. Hands come to your belly. Step your feet mat distance apart, knees fall in towards each other. Your active relaxation. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Sigh out, exhale. And just for a moment or two, let your whole body melt towards the ground. Noticing the points of contact you have with the floor. The sense of steadiness it gives you with your whole back, your feet, your shoulders, your head on the ground. As you go through the rest of your day, the rest of your week, pay a little bit of extra attention to the smaller parts of your body. Everyone does leg days, arm days, core days, shoulder days. I hear all these things. But how often do you think about your feet that you walk on every single day? How often do you think about your hands that you use to cook, to write, to type on your phone? Your neck, even all those muscles around your face. We don't often pay attention to the slightly smaller parts of our anatomical body. So maybe today have a little bit of extra appreciation for those really useful parts of us. Taking a few deeper breaths. As you breathe a little deeper, press your back a little more firmly into the floor and press your feet down a little bit more. As your feet press down, your knees might drift away from each other. So then guide one knee followed by the other in towards your chest. Wrap your arms around your legs, forehead towards your knees. Give yourself a nice big squeeze. And then release your head down gently. Hands come to the backs of your thighs as you rock yourself forwards and backwards. And to a seat on your mat, crossing your legs in front of you. Keep your eyes closed or your gaze soft. Palms come together, thumbs to the center of your sternum. Inhale, let your chest press forwards into your thumbs gently. Exhale, bow your forehead to your fingers, chin to your chest. Namaste, thank you so much for joining me today. Let me know if there's ever any classes that you'd like to see on this YouTube in the comments below.